everybody, you're in my kitchen again today, okay? And today we are going to make goulash. Now this is kind of a takeoff on my mother's recipe. Like I mentioned before in a previous video, she never really did write down recipes for me of foods that she used to make, and she used to make a goulash with minced beef or hamburger meat, and it was really good. So I had to improvise and come up with my own version of it, and I've added some veggies and other ingredients to my type of goulash. So this is kind of like my takeoff on my mother's goulash dish, okay? And first of all, I'm using my Wonder Pot again today. I have it just on stir fry right now as I'm browning up the hamburger meat. And in here I have I do have a lot of beef in here because I do like my goulash meaty. So I have probably a good pound and a half of hamburger in here that I'm trying to brown up and just kind of use my utensil here to break it up into little pieces as it browns. So while that's cooking, and it just barely started, so let me get that going some more. And while that's going, I'm going to show you what I've got ingredients-wise here and seasoning-wise that's going to go in this little pot once the meat is browned, okay? So let me turn the camera around and show you what I've got going so far. These are the ingredients, besides the hamburger that's browning, that go into my version of goulash. And after the hamburger meat does brown, you drain any juices off of it, if there's any. Sometimes I don't have any to drain, so that's fine. Then I add seasonings, which is my chili powder, and that's about a quarter of a cup, okay, a scant quarter of a cup. And then in this bowl I have salt, pepper, and minced garlic, and that's about a half a teaspoon of each. You simmer the seasonings in with the hamburger meat for maybe about 5 minutes just to kind of blend it all together, okay? And then you add the veggies that you're going to put in. I add, usually it's just onion, about 1 small onion. I do have a bit more than a small onion in here, but we like onion. And then I just happen to have half of a green pepper left over from something else, so I cut that up, and I'm going to put that in too. That will go in and cook for a while with the meat mixture and the seasonings and just kind of blend it all together. Also, you add your stock, which is going to be, what is it going to be? Let me see what I've got. Okay, beef flavored broth is what I've got there. I'll be adding that into the crock pot as well when I put all the veggies and seasonings in. So that's going in, as well as the tomato sauce here, and it's a 15-ounce can of Hunt's sauce. That total can goes in. And sometimes I'll add just a little bit of water, cleaning out the can. That will go in the mix as well. Okay, and you just cook all of that in the pot until it comes to a boil. When it comes to a boil, that's when you're going to go ahead and put in your noodles and bay leaf. I usually time it for about 8 minutes and then check it and see how the noodles are doing, and if they're tender enough, fine, that's all I do. Sometimes I might need a little bit more time. Don't know why that is, but sometimes that happens, so I'll let it cook until the noodles are done. And then I'll turn my crock pot, well, it's actually my Wonder Pot, I'll turn my Wonder Pot onto warm and let it simmer for a couple of hours until we're ready to eat. So that's my trusty Wonder Pot, and it's still cooking up the beef here. So let me get it browning some more and chopped up some more, and I will show you when I add the extra ingredients as I do it, okay? Be right back to you shortly. The hamburger is all browned. I did have to drain a little bit of grease off the meat for some reason. Sometimes I don't have to. I don't know what the difference really is. It's the same type of beef that I buy all the time. So anyway, it's all drained now, and I'm going to add the seasonings. So, like I said, there's half a teaspoon of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper going in. I'm going to just stir that around real quick. Also break up any more clumps of beef. You want smaller bits of beef throughout the goulash, so I break it up. And I'm also going to put in my chili powder. Get that mixed in. And this is still frying on stir fry, which is okay. I'm still mixing the ingredients here. Getting it saturated through the beef. Okay, the next ingredients I'm going to put in are my green peppers and onions. That's all going in. And get that mixed in there good. I don't normally put green peppers in there, like I said, but I just happen to have, maybe about half of one left. I decided to chop it up and use it. And now I'm going to let that just kind of simmer for a bit here. And I'll be back to you shortly. This is cooking up nicely here. It's time to add the fluids. So, I'm adding 1.5 cups of the beef stock. I like to mix it as I go along. Ooh, that's steaming up the camera. I like to mix it up just a little bit after I cooked things together for a bit. And I added the broth just now. That was 1.5 cups. But also, it's time for the tomato sauce. So, this is a 15-ounce can of Hunt's sauce. I'm adding that in. And I'm also going to, since there's so much residue left in the can, I'm going to put some water in there and put a little bit of water. Not much. Yeah, just enough to clean the can out. And stir that all up. And then I'm going to close this up and let it come to a boil. The next step will be adding the noodles and bay leaves and letting the noodles tenderize, cook for about 8 minutes or so. So, let me get this closed and let it come to a boil. I'll be back to you when that happens. I set a timer for 10 minutes and I hear it bubbling. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, it's at a full boil. I'm going to add noodles, the recipe calls for about 1.5 cups of macaroni. This is elbow macaroni. I put just a little bit over a cup. I don't like a lot of pasta in my goulash. Since I added so much beef to it and extra pepper and that stuff, I'm going to add some more pasta and just kind of even it out. That should really make it the 1.5 cups that the recipe called for. Now, I'm going to let that boil for about 8 minutes, and then I'll let you look at what it looks like then. The timer has gone off. Let me see what the noodles are like here. Well, it's really bubbling good. And I think the noodles look pretty decent. Oh, there's one. Caught one on my spoon. Let me try it. Okay, I'm going to let it cook for just about, maybe 2 more minutes. Then we'll check it again. They're just not quite done yet. The noodles cooked for about 12 minutes actually, until they were tender enough. Okay? So, I'm going to close it up, turn it down, or rather turn it to the warm cycle. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Okay. Warm. And it will keep going. It will simmer until we're ready to eat. And I will probably check it every hour and stir it, just because I like to check on it. You don't have to. You don't have to, but I do. Also, when it gets close to being supper time, I will add some whole kernel corn into the mix. And you can either add 1 can or 2 cans. I add 2 cans. And that will go in towards the end of the cooking cycle, just before we're ready to eat, so that it has a chance to really heat up thoroughly with everything else. But other than that, dinner is cooking, and it will be simmering away for maybe about 2 more hours until we're ready to eat. The goulash is done, and I have my bowl here. William already has his. I'm going to add some salt and pepper just to season it up a little bit more. But this is dinner for tonight. Hope you're all having a good one out there. Take it easy, take care, and I'll be chatting with you again real soon. Bye for now.